is your Wednesday night sports delight, the platform sports talk show. I am your boy Smooth, along with
Jobu.
when it's about sports, it becomes our business. And Joe,
Business, it's there, but it still keeps picking up. It's slowly
damn,
going.
damn, we say damn MLB, huh?
Yeah, you know how I feel about that. If you watched Ladies' Night last week, you know how I feel.
Yes, yeah, I definitely understand. But to those watching, thank you very much for tuning in. Once again, this is your Wednesday night sports delight. Another Wednesday, we here. We're blessed. Sports still going on. Not in all sports right now, as we just said earlier, but it's still going on, and we still have a whole lot to discuss. We have another jam-packed show for y'all. Thanks for taking time out of your evening. I know you can have plenty of things going on in your world, but you took time to check us out. Once again, your Wednesday night sports delight. Make sure y'all go ahead and share this stream right now with your peoples on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Show us love on there, like us, follow us there. And after this show ends, our show will be uploaded and archived on Roku, so you can follow us there as well. On YouTube, definitely got to make sure. Dang, I miss Bunny right now, Joe. But definitely got to make sure that when you're on YouTube, gotta subscribe, click on that
Bell.
because anytime we go live, Joe,
You will be notified.
there we go. So before we get right into the world of sports, just on a personal tip, how have you been, Joe?
I've been good. Tired with work, like we talked about pre-show, but it's exciting. It's the holiday season. It feels a little bit different than last year because now we have a baby. Spend
Right.
money on her with her birthday and with Christmas coming up, but it's exciting. It's an exciting time of the year, and it flurried a little bit out here yesterday, so that was cool to see. But
Oh, did it? Okay.
yeah, it did just a little bit, But yeah, I mean, I can't really complain about life right now, other than Manfred.
Right. And refresh my memory because she will turn one when?
On the 21st.
Okay, so she was a few days before Christmas. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Be breaking
Yeah, so
I
was gonna say, so how things going in regards to getting presents and everything? Are y'all almost done, or y'all got a whole ways to go?
We just ordered the big gifts yesterday, so like a little couch, for the kids, and then we got her a black Jeep to ride around in when springtime comes around.
Hey.
So it's got like Bluetooth to it. The headlights turn. It's dope.
What?
I want one, honestly.
Jesus, man, the stuff they make for these kids nowadays. I'm telling you, they have stuff like that for us, like all these tablets and stuff like that for us back in the day. My goodness. You said the Jeep they have Bluetooth
lights on it.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm sure baby girl, Miracle, she gonna be looking forward to Christmas and especially now being married. For those who follow my page on Facebook, just put in Fred Head and I did a nice little video getting ready for Christmas and everything like that. So it's just special for me to be able to celebrate this as now a husband, along with of course being a father and the whole nine. So, and shouts out to my wife Jamie. She's probably watching right now. But it just feels good, man. To be in a different space, mentally, physically, spiritually, everything in regards to the season. So it just has an extra meaning to it. We hope that y'all are excited and getting ready for the holiday season as well. Hope everything goes exceedingly well for each and every one of y'all. And once again, we are a sports talk show, so a whole lot going on in the world of sports right now, outside of course baseball. But I want to do some, a little fun with the crew. Speaking of which, shouts out to Bunny. She's doing much better. Felt a little soreness after having, a 9-pound baby. So we understand that she is doing better. Sanaa doing well. Stan, shouts out to him as well. Stay tuned for our last show of the year. I'm just saying, just stay tuned for that. It should be fun. Let me see. Once again, shout out to all our followers. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all go ahead and share this stream right now with the peoples. Let's get more people tuned in because we have a great show with another great guest in store. Leave them comments, some questions, sports related. Let's get it popping. So, as I was saying before, presented a fun topic to start off the show with. I'm gonna call it. You now have my attention. So this pretty much is what's something that's been going on in the sports world that's just really got you, just in your mind right now. That just maybe something that just you got to just get this out. It's been bothering you, or it just been something you just want to talk about. So we're just gonna have fun with it. Leave the comments. Let's have a good time with it. I'll start with mine. I had one thing, so I'm gonna still save that for later. But my first one, because it just came out today. But Tiger Woods, he announced today that he is coming back. He'll be joining his son Charlie on next week, December the 18th to 19th, at the PNC Championship Golf Tournament. Once again, next week with his son. This will be the first time since the crazy accident that he had after that exact championship golf tournament that he did last year. I think it happened a couple of days after the tournament that he had that horrific looking accident where he possibly could have lost a leg, his life, pretty much. But now, almost a year later, he will be back golfing again. He said that he would not, be golfing full time anymore. But he'll, pick and choose, between certain tournaments or whatever. But I think it is pretty incredible that after everything he's gone through, from the scandal years back to, so much stuff that he's gone through, Joe, for him to announce that he'll be back playing golf and with his son, I think it's pretty cool.
It is cool. I seen his picture, him and his son's picture all over Twitter today. Tiger Woods, since I was little, he's been there, doing his thing. So yeah, it should be cool and exciting to see, especially after, like you said, like a miracle, with his accident, that he still has his life. And so yeah, it should be cool to see him with his son.
Yeah, most definitely. And once again, for those watching for the first time, go ahead and leave them comments. Let us know what's something's going on in your mind, sports related, that you want to go ahead and discuss, and we'll discuss it with you. Don't be shy. And yes, and shouts out to our faithful follower, Miss Williams, that he is definitely blessed because he has been through a whole lot, from the time that his father passed away, and then from, like I said, the infidelity to this accident that he had. When you talk about perseverance, Jesus Christ, you talking about perseverance. So she says, hi, Free, and hi, Joe. So good evening to you, Miss Williams. And also prayers up, Miss Williams, to your son, to my longtime friend since kindergarten, or before that, Eddie, and his health. I wrapped with him a few days ago. So prayers up to him as well. And for anybody who's going through something, health related or just whatever's going on, people don't know your story. But we should all want to pray for the best for you. So definitely want to give prayers up to your son and to my friend Ed, Miss Williams. Joe, well, no, I'm sorry. I'll go in my second one. So something that I never thought I would say, because over the last, about 4 or 5 years now, he was even the guest on our show, but I've been a really big fan of his hire. And now I'm kind of getting a little skeptical and not as confident and don't have as much faith. And that is one Conzo Martin from Mizzou. And I know if Stan was watching right now, he'd be like, what? But
I saw your tweet tonight.
Yeah. So, he's been hampered with bad luck pretty much since day one. Of course, first year he recruited Michael Porter Jr. and these other guys, Jonte Porter. I can't recall the other guy named Blake something, but he had like 3 or 4, like 4 or 5-star guys that was coming into Mizzou, and the plan was to make an impact right away at Mizzou. And they wish they come on out and make some noise and be a top 25 team and whatever. But then all of a sudden, Michael Porter Jr. back issue, got hurt. Jonte Porter the next year, torn ACL, he was out. Then other guys start transferring and leaving and stuff like that. Then of course now you have this transfer portal in all of college sports, which is pretty crazy right now. And the opportunities that we have possibly have had to get guys who can make an impact. Right now, I'm looking here. Mizzou is currently at 5-4 in the season. They had a terrible loss against University of Missouri Kansas City at Mizzou. So I want to make sure I state that. Then they lost another game that they should not have lost to against Liberty at Liberty, a team that should not have any business competing with Mizzou. There's been some really bad losses that we have had in this season so far, and just the recruiting so far, getting guys who, like for instance, we have this 7'2" guy, 7'1" guy, Jordan Wilmore. He's a big dude, but he doesn't present a presence down the paint. He doesn't dominate. He's too slow. You have other guys who the team just doesn't have a lot of good outside perimeter shooting going on. So this team once again is 5-4. We just been looking for that season to really establish ourselves in the SEC like other teams have done, like the Arkansas, the Alabamas, Auburns, etc. And Mizzou is still down the bottom. We may have had a run here or two the last couple of years, maybe been in the top 25, but then it doesn't last long. And then we're barely getting into the tournament or not making it at all. And I just really feel like the Patriots running in with Conzo. I want to be wrong because I know he's a great guy. Once again, he was a guest on our show, but it just hasn't worked out the way that we hoped. Sometimes maybe just you being very bad luck means maybe a change can happen in which things would change. You know what I'm saying, in regards to the bad luck not continuing to happen for this team. But like I said, Conzo was a great guy, and we all want him to succeed. Well, I know I do. But right now, this one doesn't look good for the state of Missouri in regards to the men's basketball team. On the other hand, the ladies, they are like 8-1. They almost beat top 10 team in Baylor last week. Very close game. So the women are doing very good. Shouts out to them. But right now, it's not looking good with the men. And it shows in the attendance where you see so many gold seats around the arena with no butts in the seats. So we'll see what's happening. But Ms. Williams, is great to see that he's feeling better. So once again, continue prayers for him. Joe, what's something that has got your attention?
So I got two things, I guess, like you, and they're both local, like I always do. But one, I guess I'll say, because the other one will lead into hockey, but one is like baseball, okay? We all know how I feel about baseball. But let's see. So I'm so confused about how all this stuff works, because you got the lockout, but then you could vote for the Hall of Fame, and you can have the Rule 5 draft for the minor leagues. I know like minor league isn't Major League Baseball, but it's still kind of silly to me that you can do all that stuff. It doesn't really add up, and it feels like they're kind of teasing us. But then also seeing all the players on Twitter lately have been making me laugh and making my days better than they already are, with their no face profile pictures,
Right.
their bios changing. Like Tyler Matzik for the Braves says something like his bio is former Atlanta Braves relief pitcher, thanks Uncle Bob or something like that. So it's so funny. So I know I like looking on Twitter to see all that, because there's not much baseball to look for on Twitter right now, but that's always fun to look at. But yeah, it's just weird to me that you can see all this other baseball stuff happening, but it's not Major League Baseball, especially the Hall of Fame. I thought that was kind of weird, because it's still the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, But yeah, that's the baseball one, I guess, somewhat locally, because me and my baseball. But the other one is are we like just a COVID team now, or a COVID/injury team with the Blues? I don't know how we're pulling off W's right now. We're still in second place, because when we had a somewhat healthy team, they weren't playing well. But I don't know. This team last night, they still didn't catch any breaks. They got the 2 points, but you lost Huso and I think Wallman as well. So I don't know how they're going to put together an active roster for the future.
And I definitely want to bring up both of those points in regards to baseball and hockey, which we'll do in a second. But once again, for those watching, thank you very much for tuning in. Share this stream, like it. Let's get this thing going on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube right now. And then once again, our show will be uploaded on Roku as soon as this show is over with. But we are talking about right now. You now have my attention. What is a sports story that has gotten your attention over the last, few days or whatnot? Leave the comments. We'll discuss it. Something else that I want to discuss in regards to this topic: Anthony Davis from the Los Angeles Lakers. Charles Barkley said it best yesterday on TNT. I definitely agree, but Anthony Davis needs to step up his game. Ever since they won the championship back in 2020 season, it really hasn't been that dominant guy. Like before Giannis came into the league, people were saying that outside of LeBron James, that Anthony Davis is going to be the next great player, the next best player in all of basketball. Like once LeBron James leaves, or AD would take the mantle from LeBron James. But ever since the championship, you just haven't seen the same drive. I'm not sure if it's too much Hollywood going on because he's in LA. But the way that Giannis is playing right now, the way the guys like Embiid, Nikola Jokic is playing, is the way that we expect AD to play. You don't hear about off nights and playing soft and etc. When you hear about Embiid and Jokic and Giannis. But when it comes to AD, there's too many times where you're like, you only taking 7 shots and you 7 foot, got handles, you got an outside game, you got an inside game. You're just too damn good to not be more of a force. And if you didn't see what Charles Barkley said yesterday on TNT, just go right now. You'll see what he said about AD. Barkley feels that Frank Vogel, who's the head coach of the Lakers, shouldn't be to blame for the Lakers' struggles. It needs to be pointed at the players, and he definitely pointed out AD, and I totally agree. AD is too talented to not be more of a force. Like, for instance, Joe, that would be the equivalent of maybe like a Ryan O'Reilly for the Blues. If he's not showing up and making an impact on the ice, you're going to be holding him accountable because, he's the guy that people, of course, the Lakers have LeBron James, but it shouldn't be because LeBron James is about to be, 37 years old. He shouldn't be the main reason why the team has success. You know what I'm saying? It should be a point where LeBron should be able to just fall back or doesn't have to do as much and let your younger guys step up. So it's the equivalent. If Ryan O'Reilly isn't getting assists or getting goals or scoring points, period, in hockey, and he looks like he's sometimes in it, sometimes he's not in it, we're going to acknowledge that and hold him accountable. Am I right?
Yeah. And I do think you made a good point also with the whole LA thing, but I guess with AD, he's been there, 4 years, 4 years now, or however long it's been, so I don't think that should be an excuse for him anymore. But yeah, it's like Ryan O'Reilly, or even with the Cardinals, you can say, like, you can't have Yachty just sit down and not do anything for forever, and then, Nato and O'Neal and Carlson and all them not do anything either. He just can't do that, So, but yeah, LeBron, he's LeBron, yeah, but he shouldn't be still that guy that is doing everything on the team, especially in LA.
Exactly. So I just feel like the Lakers will be in such a better place once AD starts dominating. The same way how as we get to the Blues talking, matter of fact, you do it right now. As we get to the Blues talk, how back in the day we expect guys like Tarasenko, use your body, go into into the blue area, from the goalie, make an impact. You use that frame, do what guys like Pat Maroon was doing, when he was in St. Louis.
Brandon
Use your skills. Say it again.
Dodd's been doing that. Been really impressive, actually. He's been right up there, in the net, and I think he's got like 3 goals in the last 3 games. So yeah, he's been looking really good, and crashing the net like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the main thing is that we just want to see these guys bring 110%, not just every other game. You know what I'm saying? Because the team can't go as far as you want them to go if you don't step up your game as well and do your part. Because that's how it rubs off on other guys. Like for instance, going back to NBA real quick, Russell Westbrook. He had a rough start, because he had to get acclimated to the team. And people was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a bad fit. Oh, I don't know about this. He's not looking good. Him and LeBron on the team, on the court at the same time, ain't looking good. Whatever." But now ain't no one complaining because now he's finding his role and he puts in max effort every game, whether you like it or not. He puts in max effort. If you have that from AD, you know what I'm saying? Anthony Davis, boom, it's gonna be a game changer. But
I remember hearing I don't know what, maybe it was Sports Center or something was on, but like right before opening night for the NBA, one of those hosts, I don't know who it was saying that they could see it being a problem with LeBron, Westbrook, and AD, all on the same team because it's a little bit too much star power in a city like LA. So that's how it works sometimes, though, like with the Dodgers too. Like this is completely off track, but like Trey Turner, he I can't talk. He seemed like a really calm, chill dude in Washington, and then as soon as he got to the Dodgers, he was kind of flary and this and that. There's different cities do things to you, so. Oh. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Especially when you're at a franchise where preceding you were guys like Shaq and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain. They expect something different. You know what I'm saying? They expect you to dominate when you're a Laker and you are a center, or of course right now he's labeled as a power forward, but you can pretty much call him a center as well because he's, like I said, 7 foot something. And he's just a post player. So they expect a different level of greatness. And the second year, I guess, because the first year they didn't go all the way, but second year doing the COVID season, pretty much the shortened season, excuse me. He showed out. He won a few game winners and everything. But then ever since they won a championship, he just has not been that dominant guy. He relies too much on a fadeaway, or he doesn't want to take risk and opportunities. I remember watching the Lakers versus the Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo. When I say Giannis did not have any fear of AD, I mean he took him to the hole almost every possession. He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna show you who I am." We just want to, Lakers fans want to see AD be like, you know what? Let me tell you who I am. Let me remind you, who I am. Let me put an imprint on this game and show everybody I'm still the baddest mofo in the game. Not Giannis, not, Durant, not Wnba, not Jokic, not whatever else. No, they're gonna remember who I am, and that's the AD we need to see starting in the now for real. But especially the second half of the season, because the Lakers right now, they are right now, let's see, in the 6th spot in the West. But any given week, you can have that one bad week, and you could be in the outs trying to look in to a play-in. So we'll just see.
With AD, you're saying that he had a really good year, the pandemic year. There wasn't people in the stands, it was like digital or whatever. Do you think that has something to do with LA, the fans? Like, I know there's some people that thrive with the fans. Some people, I guess, play a little bit. Like Yu Darvish, for example. The pandemic year, he was great. And then, now there's people back in the stands and he can't pitch to save his life. So, I don't know.
I hope that's not the case, because of all places to go to, you went to LA, where every game, whether you at home or on the road, it's going to be a show because people love to see the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Especially when LeBron James playing too. So you knew what you signed up for when you went to the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's been known as Showtime. You know, people expect the show, and you can't be coming in just half-assed. You
Yeah, it's
have to
just
come in and bring it.
there's been players, free agency and trade wise, and a lot of sports that have gone to New York or LA, and then they haven't, like Lindor is a prime example. I think he's going to be perfectly fine, but he went from little Cleveland, Ohio to New York,
Right.
and I think Mets fans might be just as bad, if not worse, than Yankees fans when it comes to expectations. And and then he had a really bad year, had injuries, and all this stuff with Jeff McNeil, whatever the hell that raccoon thing was, and I don't know on that whole stuff that happened. So I don't know. I think that could be possibly something to do with it.
Yep, it's very possible. And then, like, I always think about Edgar Renteria because he left the Cardinals and then he signed a free agent deal with the Red Sox, and he just was not the same.
Yeah, Boston's another one.
Yeah, he was not the same in Boston. And I think about like Jeff Supine, when he left, or remember when he was at Jared Weaver. Remember how he had that great run in St. Louis? He was pitching like he was a freaking Cy Young, and then he got signed to like Seattle or some other team, and he wasn't the same. Not saying it was the crowd, but it could just be because of the organization and how you're being ran, how you're being treated. So for instance, let's talk about what's his name, Luis Garcia from the Cardinals. Had a great second half of the season. Came from the Yankees, got traded to the Cardinals, but now he's going to the Padres. Will he still have that same effect?
We'll see. I feel like some of these Hispanics that go to San Diego, they're going to be just fine with how they act over there and treat with Tatis and Machado and all them. So I know it's the bullpen and it's different, but I'm sure he'll be fine. Let's just hope he's not good against us.
Right. So back to some Blues talk. Is it fair to say, Joe, that it's hard to really scrutinize this team because of the injuries and COVID?
I want to say yes, but then, like I said earlier, is whenever they were, for the most part, healthy, they weren't playing really good hockey at all. So, but right now it's very hard to, scrutinize them because like Perron's out on injury, and then you got half the rest of the team on COVID, including your starting goaltender, and then Husso got hurt last night, and he's done. So now we got our emergency goalies right now. So who knows how that's gonna go? But yeah, then I said like Wallman got hurt, so it's pretty much our entire AHL team up here now. It seems like with a couple regulars like O'Reilly and Senko, which Senko hasn't been as good lately either. But there are some positives. Buchnevich and Brennan Saad, like I said, they've been really good lately. So that's been exciting to watch because I think they both have a point or two in the last handful of games.
It has to be an incredible feeling when 24 hours prior you're playing in a beer league, and then the next 24 hours you playing on a freaking NHL professional team.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. That's for sure.
Man,
you gotta think though, the last 4 games it was Tampa, Florida. So the back-to-back Stanley Cup champs in the East that are good, and then you got the one of the best teams in all of the NHL right now, the Florida Panthers, and you got 2 points against Tampa, and you got 3 out of 4 that you could have got from Florida. That's pretty dang good, for home away splits. So you'll take that. You just hope that they can at least stay afloat right now. And like me and Brendan were talking yesterday, it's crazy that they're in second place right now with everything that's going on.
Right, because I'm looking here at the standings, and right now the Minnesota Wild is in first place, and this is in the Western Conference Central Division. For those who may not be familiar with hockey, so right now you have the Minnesota Wild first place, Blues in second, Nashville in third, Colorado in fourth, Dallas in fifth, Winnipeg in sixth, Chicago, they suck, they in seventh, Arizona, they suck 2-8. Now, wasn't there word about Arizona possibly leaving, but now it got reneged?
Yeah, like I sent that on our group chat last week, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think it was like, cause I follow all my Houston pages, so I think it was like NCAA having their tournament there next year, and then it's they're talking about possibly the Coyotes going to Houston for a hockey team. So I haven't seen if there was any like if that stopped talking about it or what, but I mean I think it would be cool, but I hate seeing a city lose a team. Like we should know out of all people how that is.
Right. In the Western Conference Pacific Division, Calgary is leading right now. Anaheim right behind. Third place, Edmonton. Then you have San Jose, fifth place, Las Vegas, sixth place, Los Angeles, seventh. The Kraken from Seattle. Yes, Seattle has a NHL hockey team for those who like, what? And then Vancouver. In the Eastern Conference, the top team are the Washington Capitals. Second place, the Rangers. And this is the Metropolitan Division, by the way. Carolina in third, Pittsburgh in fourth, Columbus in fifth, New Jersey in sixth, Philadelphia in seventh, Islanders, at eighth. And then the Atlantic Division, Florida, number one. And this is after Joe Quenneville got fired. Former Blues coach and Blackhawks coach.
Was crazy. Sorry, it's that whole story coming out of Chicago, and then a couple days later, Quenneville gets fired, and I was thinking maybe they'd stop playing as good, but they've been good, and they're fun to watch. They've had I think 3 out of their last 4 games comeback victories, and they ain't just small ones. They're down like 3 goals every time, so it's been fun to watch.
The reigning second place Toronto Maple Leafs, third place Tampa Bay Lightning, the reigning defending champions, 2-time champs. Detroit in fourth, fifth Boston, sixth Buffalo, seventh Ottawa, eighth Montreal. Outside the Blues, Joe, what has been your thoughts in regards to the overall NHL season? Has there been like a team that you've been keeping your eye on? Any team that has stand out, or any person that has stand out over the season so far?
Not really so far. I guess I'm a little surprised that the Wild are in front of us, but I mean they got a good young team for the most part. Not team-wise, the Kraken's fun to try to pay attention to, especially since they have 2 old Blues players on their team. Schwartz done, so that's just cool to pay attention to. But I haven't really looked out at any other teams. I will say you going through those standings, it's weird. I know it's still early in the year, but it's weird hearing some of the top teams like from last year, like the Islanders. I'm pretty positive they were in the Eastern Conference last year championship round, and now they're in dead last, I think you said. So it is shocking to hear all that, and Tampa being a third, but I know they're dealing with some injuries as well. But yeah, just really trying to pay attention to the Blues for the most part right now.
And I know that you have been doing what is it called? The hockey league or something like that. How you been doing with that?
Oh, the fantasy hockey league?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, my brother begged me to be on it this year. He paid for it, and so I was like, I'll draft it. I probably won't pay attention, and that's how it's been going. I set my lineup maybe 10 times this year. I don't want to do fantasy sports anymore. It's too petty. It's money I don't want to spend, and I live through Brendan on that. But I will say we brought up Tampa. This is something we talked about yesterday as well. As like I think last year, whenever there was like more than 2 players out with COVID, I think they just kind of postponed games. And last year, not every team had the vaccine, and now the Blues are 100% vaccinated, and they're missing like 5 or 6 guys with COVID plus injuries, and it's kind of crazy to me that they're being forced to play right now. But then like the Tampa Bay Lightning, they I don't know if you heard the story or not, but Kucherov, like he gets hurt in the beginning of the year, doesn't play all year until the playoffs, and they don't worry about his cap, but that's perfectly okay. Like,
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
And then also what's crazy is, and also, I'm sorry, also what's crazy is in regards to what's going on with the Blues, how that they playing shorthanded because of the cap. They can't bring in someone like right off the, the NHL need to do a better job on that, because if it's something COVID related, it could be treated like an injury. You know, if someone has an injury, you call someone up right away. If someone has COVID, you call someone up right away, especially when a team, like you said before, has been 100% vaccinated and we're still getting guys who still have COVID. We shouldn't have to wait a whole 24 hours, 48 hours of, figure out something in regards to the cap to bring somebody up. It should be automatically, boom, bring somebody up, let's go. It shouldn't have to be short-handed.
Yeah, and I just don't. Last year, when teams weren't vaccinated, they who was it? I think it was the Canadians last year. At one point, literally half their team had COVID, but then now our entire team is vaccinated, and they don't care to. They're like still punishing the people that are doing the right thing. It doesn't really make sense to me. But I guess that's Gary Bettman, so whatever.
I'm looking at your Blues jersey. Have you warmed up to those jerseys yet, or you just got it because you want to show it off?
So that's actually Mia's. We got that for her about a month ago, and I had it hanging up for one of our shows because we were talking a lot of Blues. But I like those ones. I think I like the normal retro jerseys more, but I like these. I like the red in there. A lot of people don't like it, but I think it's cool.
Yeah, and I know that pretty soon, January the 1st, the Winter Classic, the Blues second time ever, and they'll be playing again. I saw those. Those look pretty dope. So, what would you say would be like your number one Blues jersey right now?
Like to get one for myself?
Yeah, just overall, if you had to rank, from 1 to 3 in regards to your top jersey,
Okay. I don't know. It's tough. So, are we throwing in the baby blues too?
Yes.
Okay, I'm probably gonna go. I might just do the Winter Classics, the baby blues. I'm gonna wait on the ones we're gonna see in January. So the baby blues, I like the away jerseys that we wear, just the white ones, and then I'm gonna go with the normal retro one with that. So I love those ones. Those ones are sick.
Yeah.
The Tony Twist days and Chaser and stuff.
Really Chase, yeah. they well, I can't say they remind me of it, but I guess like you think about the Mighty Ducks and the Bash Brothers, you got to think about Tony Twist and Kelly Chase. So shout out to them, and it was some fun time. They didn't win, but still it was some fun time.
Yes, but it was still fun to watch.
So that's our Blues / NHL hockey talk. Oh, I do want to ask. It does feel good though to have the whole league coming back. You know what I'm saying? In regards to you're not just playing the West, or you're not playing just your Central Division. It feels good to have New York teams coming. I don't think they came in town yet, but in the future, having New York and Pittsburgh and Edmonton come in town, and seeing Detroit back in town again, and even the Blackhawks, because we didn't have them last year at all come in town. So it's pretty cool just to have a bit more normalcy in regards to hockey at this time.
Yeah, so kind of felt like a little bit of a throwback with Tampa, Florida, and I'm like, okay, because I remember there was a week last year where we just played Coyotes 7 days straight.
Oh my God, I don't know how they were able to just. I mean, of course you think about like in the playoffs, that's different, but still, it's like I'm tired of seeing y'all.
They smashed us half of those games. It was annoying. So
right. But hey, like I said, it's good to have a little bit of normalcy back in sports. Period. So baseball, we talked about earlier, the lockout going on. On a good note, let's talk about the Veterans Committee just elected 6 guys into the Hall of Fame: Gil Hodges, Jim Catt, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, Bud Fowler, and Buck O'Neill. I definitely want to highlight Buck O'Neill. He's a legend from the Negro Leagues. He passed away a few years back, so it's unfortunate that they waited till after he passed away to elect him, where he should have been in a long time ago. I feel like Kurt Flood. I feel like he needs to be in there, because without him, there wouldn't have been no free agency in baseball. He is the one who pioneered free agency. So Kurt Flood, St. Louis Cardinal legend. I feel he needs to go ahead and be in the Hall of Fame. We had to talk about it a few weeks back, but Scott Rowland, this should be the year that he should get in. But we should definitely see maybe down the line the Veterans Committee will elect Jim Edmonds because he was someone that when he played with the Cardinals, I heard this morning or yesterday that his OPS was like 940 something. His 8 seasons with the Cardinals, and he was the best. When I say the best, he was the best during his time center fielder in the game. Bottom line.
I think later on he will be voted in. Like, obviously, what people are going to remember are the Cardinal years and then that catch that he made with the Angels. But
right.
But yeah, that's what you imagine when you think Jim Edmonds, and he's got good postseason numbers, and he had good offensive numbers, and how could you not in a lineup with Albert Pujols, Scott Rowland, and Larry Walker, Reggie Sanders, all those guys. But I think he'll be one of those players that gets in later on.
Yeah, I mean he was a foul tool guy. You didn't want to run on him when he was playing in the field because he had that cannon. I mean, every throw would be a freaking strike. Like you said, he covered ground. He was one of them guys that played more shallow. He didn't play deep. He played shallow. He felt like he didn't want to give someone a double or, whatever by playing deep. He wanted to take away all them options. And then he was so great and knowing how to run back and have a ball go over his head and he can catch it. Something that I think Harrison Bader still needs more work on because
he's the opposite. He loves playing deep and then flying in, watching his hair in the wind, and and then
right. Harrison Bader is so fast. So he's a guy that, and I'm not sure if it's because of COVID recently. I know that this past season they didn't have anybody come out to spring training, to do like that direct training with other guys. How you have Ozzy and them come out on the field and join guys. I know they didn't have that last year, but to have Jim Edmonds and Harrison Bader just won a Gold Glove, and this is when he was playing deep. Imagine if he was able to learn some more stuff from Edmonds and play shorter, but then know how to find the ball when it's over his head and use that speed. I mean, he'd be even more dynamic going to next season whenever the season. Right. Hopefully it happens in 2022. We shall see. But
it's funny you mentioned though Jim Edmonds because I remember it might have been against the Brewers, and he was saying, I don't know if you'll know what I'm talking about, but when Bader he tries to he'll backtrack and crisscross his legs going back before he makes a catch.
Right.
And saying one of these days he's gonna fall, and I'm gonna laugh at him because I told him to stop doing that. And sure shit, he fell. He fell, and he's like, I'm gonna, his text. I'm gonna text him later and tell him about it. And that's something he could definitely change. I've only seen him fall once from doing it, but I mean, it's hard to complain about a guy who had such a great year and great defensive year and a Gold Glove winner. But yeah, it's something that you could point out.
And then something else that Bader needs to work on too is better communication in the outfield. Because remember, the years when him and Fowler, how many times did you see those two run into each other or almost run into each other because of lack of communication? Then I think it happened a few times with Dylan Carlson. It's and especially when you got someone like Willie McGee who's right there to teach all this. Where's the communication at? Where's the hey, I got it.
Way his ball, so even if he says a little bit, then they need to back off because it's the center fielder's ball. That's just how it goes. But I guess he just has to get louder. Oh, Cardinal talk as well. Nice.
Yeah, shouts out to Going Bracket Racing. Yes, so we are definitely a St. Louis sports talk show. So we talk about the Blues, the Cardinals. When we have MLS in the Lou coming, we talk about that. We are your Wednesday night sports alike. Definitely gonna represent St. Louis and of course other professional sports as well, like the NBA, WWE at times. Doesn't matter, you name it, we'll discuss it. That's what we do on your Wednesday night sports life. So shout out to Go on Bracket Racing. Once again, make sure y'all go ahead and share this post right now. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, hit that like, hit the share. Let's keep getting more people tuned in because in 15 minutes, we'll have our special guest on the show. So we want to make sure that all of his followers are watching, are tuned in, are leaving questions, etc. So share right now on, once again, the platform Sports Talk Show. Once again, I am your boy Smooth, along with
Jobo.
Jobo.
Jobo. It's so short, I don't even know how to say it or what to say. So I'm just like, Jobo.
Right. So outside of Steven Matz, do you feel whenever the lockout ends, do you feel that there would be another move that the Cardinals will make?
So I'm not gonna say I had my hopes up for Stroman because, like, you know how I felt about that. I wanted him.
Oh man, he went to the Cubs too.
Yeah, I know it hurts a little bit. It was a little unrealistic, but it was still, just I was hoping and praying that it would happen. I do think there's a possibility on someone like Story. But other than that, I don't think we're really going to get anyone besides, like, maybe another bullpen arm. I keep seeing, or I saw, names like Joe Kelly, which would be nice. And then for, like, a bat off the bench, I've seen the name Travis Shaw a couple times for the Cardinals. So, I mean, it wouldn't be terrible. I would take it. He's played in the NL Central before, and he's hit the NL Central pretty good before. So I would take it, and that's always been something that we've been missing off our bench is a left-handed power hitter. So that would be nice. And, it's not Matt Carpenter and it's not Justin Williams, so I guess that's an upgrade, especially for some fans that didn't like those players. But other than that, it's probably just going to be a reliever or two, honestly, and then someone like a Travis Shaw. We can dream about a Trevor Story. We can really, really dream and fantasize about Carlos Correa, but that's not going to happen.
Right. Let me see, because I'm trying to see if I can find the highlight already. Let me see. Because I just saw something amazing on a highlight in basketball. Let me see if I can find it real quick on online, and I'm gonna try to see if I can share it. Let's see. Come on. This the fun part of having the internet going on and stuff like that. I'm trying to find this video real quick because Obi Toppin, he's an NBA player from the New York Knicks, and he just made something that I have not seen in a long time in the NBA doing the game. But I'm about to show it now. Let's see. Let's have some fun with this one here. Okay, here we go. I'm about to show now. Check this out. During the game, this happened. So it's blurry, y'all. But he just went in between. Here we go. I'll show it again. Video just kind of like was a little blurry. But here we go. During the game, this happened. Between the legs with the dunk. During the freaking that was pretty cool. Shouts out to Obi Toppin. He's definitely a high flyer for the Knicks. He played in the Atlantic 10 a couple years ago for Dayton. We almost had them beat in regards to SLU when we played years back. But yeah, in between the game, during the game, he made a between the legs slam doing a breakaway. So that's pretty cool. Going back to the Cardinals real quick, I hope that they do make more moves. We need to have, and I told your husband this, Joe, that we need Shrewd Mozeliak to come out. We need him to come out. And who would have thought all of a sudden we would have got Arenado during the time frame that we did, right? It was always trade. It was right. It was a trade. It was a lot of speculation that it may happen, whatever. But in regards to free agency wise, you are correct. We need to make a free agent splash. And I keep hearing about it, and I like the idea, but I really like the idea of Kyle Schwarber, especially if they announce that they have the DH in both leagues. He'll be a great leadoff hitter. From what I'm seeing, with his time with the Nationals, with the Red Sox, even with the Cubs, You just put him up there and he just do his thing, especially against righties, and then if it's a lefty, we know how Tommy Edman is against lefties. Same thing with now I know Bader last year did better against righties last year. Was that right?
Yeah,
He kind of
flipped it.
way.
It's the same thing with Carlson did better batting right-handed than he did left-handed.
Yeah, so and we talked about this before. Ali Marmo, he's gonna be really big on analytics and doing what's best for the team, depending on who they are facing. Don't just have no set lineup when this guy ain't gonna be good against this kind of pitcher. No, put in the best lineup against this best pitcher, etc. Yep. So we'll see.
I think going into it, like say our lineup is as how it is right now, I think you'll see 1 through 4 pretty much set in stone. But 5 through 9, I think it's gonna flip flop here and there. Maybe Marmol will put Bader at a leadoff spot here and there, but I think it'll be pretty set for the most part, until the back half of the lineup. But Schwarber, that's a dream too. That would be nice. Has experience in the NL Central as well. He's definitely killed us before. It'd be nice to see him hit a couple homers against the Cubs and one of those cheap homers in the basket or something off Stroman. So, but we'll see what happens. I do because you mentioned like the DH thing. Mo mentioned I think in the Matt's interview, whatever you want to call it, that it's kind of hard to say, what you're going to do DH-wise because you don't know if it's going to happen or not, So it's kind of hard to make signings at this moment because of that. And then I think it's Derek Gold mentioned, DeYoung's going to be your shortstop, but they have, have told people that he's, they're all, I can't talk tonight. They're all ears on to see, if anyone wants him. You're not going to get anyone big for him. I've thought of Lou Trevino from the Athletics. He's a reliever. He's really good there. I don't think you could get Sean Manaea from the A's for just Paul DeYoung, but maybe Paul DeYoung and someone else, Andrew Kisner or just another prospect or something. But the A's are an interesting team for trade partners. We traded Piscotty there and got Jairo Munoz before, so maybe we can make something happen again.
Yeah. And then we have a comment here from Miss Williams. Let's pull this up here. Regarding things that impressed her this week was Kelly Oubre Jr. of the Charlotte Hornets. Yes, he has been stepping up, Miss Williams. Now, one thing I will say is pretty crazy because we talked about COVID earlier, Joe, how the Blues, they have so many players, but the Charlotte Hornets has about maybe 4 or 5 guys on their team that's out because of COVID. And their biggest star, LaMelo Ball, he's out right now because of COVID. So COVID has really, really taken a whole lot out of, teams in regards to all sports, not just one sport, but all sports. And as we said before, looks like this COVID thing is like the new normal that we have to deal with, just like no end in sight, no matter how we try to, be optimistic about it. But this is something that we had to know how to manage, do your proper studies and research, and I don't want to say hope for the best, but it's just about how to deal with it, But she was saying that he was on fire versus Atlanta. So yeah, the Hornets, and we'll talk about this, especially with our special guests when we get to some NBA talk. But the Hornets right now, they are currently 7th overall in the Eastern Conference. So we'll see. And once again, you don't have about 4 or 5 of your players playing for the Hornets right now. But you still got to play the games until the end of the season.
How does that go with basketball? With we were talking about the Blues and they can't bring someone up because of cap. How does that work with basketball with COVID?
I don't think that there's like a cap issue like it is with hockey. I think that's just a hockey thing that they set those rules like that. Other sports, if someone's out, someone else just comes in. That's just it. But I think that's
like basketball, like with basketball and even football. I feel like, and maybe it's because I don't watch these sports, every chance I can get. But like football, I feel like you either make the team coming out of college or you're not on the team. Like, is there a minor league team for basketball and football?
Basketball, the football, no, there's no minor league
Okay, that's
team.
not fun.
Now I know that in years back they had like the European League. If you think about Kurt Warner and his story, how he played in Europe for a league. Then you had the arena leagues, but it wasn't like no actual NFL minor league system. No, it's just a different league. Right. But in the NBA, you do have the developmental league called the G League. So the NBA does have a minor league. So
So
you do
that's
have that around.
from their team down there.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's what they've been doing. Let's talk about real quick the NFL before we bring in our special guest. New England Patriots. They won this past Monday night against the Buffalo Bills at Buffalo. The
I don't know
win
what's
was
going
like,
on with the Bills.
man, they had a great start to the season, but then all of a sudden, like now they are let's see, they are 2-3 in their last 5 games, lost one game in a row. But they were doing good, Then all of a sudden, I'm not sure if the team just start figuring out how to play them better, and the Bills haven't adjusted, but they're sliding down. But a team that is now the best team in the AFC, and I mentioned this a few weeks ago, the New England Patriots. Mac Jones, the rookie, he's the perfect quarterback for Bill Belichick. Perfect guy. He's a system guy. He's not about big ego this or I'm gonna just do whatever. No, he's soaks in the information that he's given from the coach and he does the job. And now the team is 9-4. They are the best team in the AFC. People are already saying could be Buccaneers versus Patriots Super Bowl. Can you imagine Brady versus Belichick in the
That
Super Bowl?
weird. I don't even want to think about it yet. Stressing me out.
Man,
Like, I don't even watch. Like I watch Red Zone and pay attention to Monday night and stuff. But that'd be stressful. Let me tell you.
and then now watch out because we talk about the Bills, but the Miami Dolphins have won 5 in a row now.
I told
Watch
Brendan
out for that
today,
team.
I was like, their record's better than I imagined it would be.
Yeah, and they had a bad start because Tua was hurt, but now he's been playing, and the more and more he plays, the better he's getting, and the team is rallying around him. In the AFC North, the Ravens are number 1, Bengals right behind them, number 2. The Steelers are number 3, Browns number 4. So it's still a pretty tight race there in the AFC North. AFC South, the Titans are number 1, but they have a 2-game losing streak. The Colts right behind them. Houston Texans, they suck. And the Jaguars suck as well. AFC West, it's crazy because remember how we had that talk a few weeks back about the Chiefs looking terrible? Now that they on a 5-game winning streak, everything is all good. Now people still have their reservations right now about Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't played as elite as he has been playing in the past, but 5-game winning streak. They are 1 game above the Chargers right now. They are in good shape. Right behind them, once again, the Chargers. Then you have the Raiders and the Broncos. In the NFC East, the Cowboys number 1, the Washington football team number 2, Eagles number 3, Giants they suck. NFC North, Green Bay Packers, they killing it in the NFC North. So any week now they should be able to clinch the division. NFC South, Buccaneers, same thing with them. They got the division. And in the NFC West, the Arizona Cardinals have the best record in all of football at 10-2. The Rams are 2 games behind them at 8-4. Then you have the 49ers and the Seahawks. So
got off of a losing streak too, didn't they?
yeah, the more and more that OBJ gets acclimated with the offense, the better the team will be. They lost golly, what's his name right now? The wide receiver is to the tongue, Robert Wood. They lost him for the season, but OBJ came in right on time, and he'll man his position along with Cooper Kupp having a great year. I'm still kind of leery about Matthew Stafford. He needs to show me that he can win those big time games, something that he didn't do against Green Bay 2 weeks ago. Too many pick six that he's doing. He needs to really just show that he can carry a team.
Yeah, I think It was a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it was the Green Bay game, but they showed a stat of him like he's 0 and something against, or maybe not 0, but he doesn't have a good record against good teams.
Right.
So we give the Cardinals crap about that all year long, but so we got to mention that about Stafford. He was always really good with the Lions. I feel like he was very underrated with the Lions because their team was crap. Hey, hold on. What about the Lions and their win last week? That was exciting.
Jared, yeah, he did it.
That was exciting.
You know what?
I thought they won the Super Bowl.
Exactly. I'm about to say the same thing. Hearing the home team broadcast on the radio, they were just like you said. You would thought it was a Super Bowl win. Did you see the reaction from his girlfriend, the model?
Oh no, I did not see that.
Oh, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. She was in the middle of a let me see, Jared Goff's girlfriend. Let me see reaction. I'm put this up. Then we'll bring in our special guest.
While you look that up, I will say I love how football. It doesn't matter how terrible your team is. For the most part, that place is going to be somewhat packed, and they're going to cheer on their team. So I like that.
Here we go. Goff from the gun to the outside. It is touchdown.
So okay, here we go. So I'm about to play this real quick, and then we're bringing our special guest. Let me see here. This is the reaction from Jared Goff's supermodel girlfriend, Kristen Harper. She was once again doing a photo shoot, and then found out that her guy won the game for the first time.
Here we go. Goff from the gun.
Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, y'all. It's the internet is.
So some of you may or may not have been feeling a little sorry for Jared Goff after he got shipped out of Tinseltown, especially after he led the Rams to a Super Bowl appearance only a couple years back. Fast forward to the present, and the former 2016 first overall pick has seen his NFL career flipped upside down. Now in Detroit, Goff has struggled mightily on the field as this Lions team were on the verge of going winless in 2021. However,
there you go. Sorry, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Here we go. Y'all ain't gotta see all that.
I'm so proud of you guys.
So that was her reaction to the team winning the game the other day. She was just like, "What? Oh my God, they won! What?"
Wasn't it that receiver's first touchdown too? Like his first touchdown pass?
I can't recall. I can't recall that one.
That's what they said. So he's keeping that football for the rest of his life.
I'm pretty sure. But with that being said, Joe, thank you for your time, and you have a great rest of your evening.
You too, and I'm wearing my Superior comic book shirt.
Hey, by the way, great job last week, you, Annie Sharita. Another great job last week holding down Ladies Night, which goes down every first Wednesday of the month. Another incredible show. The debate between DC and Marvel was incredible.
I will go DC till the day I die.
hey, you came with the facts. You was ready for Andy. You was like, whatever you gonna say, I got something to do a rebuttal with, and you came with it. So I love it. I can't wait. I look forward to seeing what's up with Black Adam too. I hope they don't have all this hype, and then it'd be like
He looks
that's
badass.
it.
He looks comic book accurate to what Black Adam looks like. And I'm so excited for it. And I'm excited for Spider-Man. We got our tickets next week. It's going to be the first time we leave the house for more than a trip down to the grocery store without Mia. So that's going to be different and sad, but I'm excited for that.
And do y'all have any plans of going to a Blues game soon?
Probably not. Like, we would have to, go get the vaccine or whatever and whatnot. So maybe in the future, but right now those tickets are so expensive, I'm not even worried about it.
It is. I don't know why, but oh well. But once again, thanks for your time, Joe, and you have a great rest of your evening.
All right, you too. Bye.
All right, y'all. It is now that time. Once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smooth. Make sure y'all go ahead and share with the peoples right now, because the man of the hour, he is ready. He's repping the Lady Lions on his T-shirt. It's the branding for me, baby. It's the branding for me. As you see here, it's the branding for me. That's what it's all about. Represent Joe Click. But I'm going to take it back to the early 2000s now. But this man here, before I even talk about him, you might want to call the platform sports talk show like the Cardinal Ritter Show Love talk show, because we've had Lauren Woods, we've had Chris Carrawell, we had Jahadi White, we've had the head coach from Cardinal Ritter football team, Brennan Spain, on. We've had Coach Ryan Johnson on 2 times, and now we have this guy coming on as well. He is the former head coach of the St. Louis Surge, in which won 2 national titles in 5 years. Former assistant coach at Metro Classical, in which they went to state 5 years straight, winning 2. Lead trainer for IE Pro Women Wnba Combine. Look forward to talking about that as well. And once again, he is currently the head coach at Cardinal Ritter High School, holding it down for the ladies. Without any further ado, look forward to hearing his story be told right now. Everybody go ahead and bring the comments in. Let's show this man the love. Give him all the flowers he deserves. None other than Mr. Tony Condra. Tony, what's going on with you, brother?
Oh, not much. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you good, man. You look good,
okay.
too.
Okay, how you doing today?
Man, doing well. Thanks for taking some time out, man, to be part of this show. I know you just came back from, out of town recently. You had a game. What, was that last night you had a game and y'all won? Is that correct?
Yeah, we had a game last night, home opener. And then during the weekend, we were in Dallas. And then the weekend before that, we were in Huntsville, Alabama. We're just coming out early to get battle tested in preparation to make this state run.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that the Pretty Willie?
Yeah,
leaving
that's
the
my brother
comment
right there. That's my
Let's
brother.
go. That's what's up. Hey, Mr. Suella, what's going on, man? Welcome to the Platform Sports Talk Show. Oh, as a matter of fact, go ahead and share this with your followers. I know you have an incredible following. So, Pretty Willie, Willie Moore Jr., go ahead and show us love, share. Let's get as many people tuned in. It's a pleasure to have people like yourself to be tuned into the show and showing our guests the love that he deserves. How's it feel being to see this guy, Willie Moore Jr., showing you love right now, man?
Man, you know what? I'm not sure if you know the backstory, but we found out we was brothers last year, biological brothers.
What? I had no idea.
Well, that's my biological brother. Like, he dropped a documentary last year, The Missing Piece, on his birthday, December the 20th. Birthday coming up real soon. But no, that's my biological brother. Same mother, same father. And I mean, we just amazing story. And once we connected back in June last year, right after Wnba passed, I mean, we talk every day. I mean, we act like we never missed a beat. We act like we grew up together.
So you gotta tell me now, man. How emotional was that moment when y'all two met in person? Like, who was more of the in tears, hugging, the whole nine?
I ain't gonna lie, I was the big teddy bear. He held this stuff until he got on the airplane. But it was surreal. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said before in the past, like I always felt something was missing in my life, and I always talked about having a twin brother. Even though we're not twins, we look just like each other. But no, I was the big teddy bear with all the big old tears and everything. He held this stuff together, trying to be cool and stuff. But it is what it is.
And it's an amazing story just to hear that on the song, because in regards to myself, I never met my father before, so I don't have any way to find him or find out about him or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I may have some siblings out here in this world, and I have no idea. So I can just imagine, how you have felt when you found out that Willie Moore Jr. Is your brother. So that has to be a great feeling. And especially, during this time, Christmas season, holiday season. So I know it has a different meaning for you to be able to, now I know you have a brother, or this guy, Willie Moore Jr. as your brother. So that's pretty dope, man, right there.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. And I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna get all the way into it. Like, if he drops the documentary again, we'll just catch up on it. But I mean, he walked into some stuff and he had no clue about, like, he's met all his siblings, his daddy, both his mothers, talk every day. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing because, I mean, like it's a lot of us. I mean,
yeah. I feel you, man. I feel you. So you just talked about earlier, y'all just came from this city, from that state. So how are the girls handling? And we'll get more in depth in regards to your team later on. But just right now, how are your girls handling all the travel right now?
they actually handled it very well. It's similar to their summer basketball season when they're traveling, but the only difference is they're not spending 5 days in a hotel room. But I mean, it was different for them because during the high school season in our area, everybody's not loaded like they do during the summer. So we were playing loaded teams. We played Hazel Green, who won the state 6A championship in Huntsville, or in Alabama, the last 4 years, right off the back. So the girls were frustrated, but then they bounced back and we won the next game. And then, we gave a game away in Dallas, but then we bounced back and beat another state champion. So out of the first 4 games, we played 3 state champions.
Nice. Okay. And y'all definitely showing up and showing out and representing the Lou, right?
Indeed.
Man, love it. So before we get into more current affairs right now, let's go all the way back, man, to your younger years. Tell us, this is a question that we always ask our people, our guests on the Sports Talk show. Before we ask about your high school, it's a St. Louis question. Before the high school question.
We don't even need to discuss that.
No. We got to. We keep everything a buck on the platform Sports Talk show. But let's talk about, when will you say you fell in love with sports?
Well, I fell in love with sports at an early age because my mother put me in Matthews Dickey Boys and Girls Club. So I played baseball.
Hey, shout out Matthew Dickey. Yeah, that's me right there too. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you.
Right. I played with Frank Robinson in football, and actually my mother, there was my cousin. I'm still a youngster, you're right. But then my mother was my baseball manager. But with the game of my mother was my baseball manager.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
So, but falling in love with the game of basketball, it goes back to April of 1998 when I was a referee. But Gary Glascott, he just left. He was just retired from Metro Classical. He asked me to coach a couple of teams that day. I went 5-0, and he never let me leave the game. Like I've been in it since '98, and he mentored me, and then he hired me over at Metro. And when we won our first state, he handed me the game plan for Clopton. We beat Clopton in the state championship, and he gave me that game plan. And the game plan worked, and we won our first state title over at Metro Classical.
So outside of basketball, was there any other sports that you just fell in love with, or was it just strictly basketball?
No, actually, people really don't know. My best sport was actually baseball.
Hey, what's up? Okay, tell us your position that you played.
I grew up playing third base and second base.
Nice. Okay. Yep. Yeah. See, so when I was, doing my prime years, I was mainly a shortstop and third base.
Okay.
So I was pretty much like, right there in the action. Had to have the arm and the accuracy and everything. So,
yep.
And when I grew up, I always said basketball was number one, but then it was something about baseball. It was just different. And it just continued just to grow like a little bit more, just a little bit more than basketball, but they're still like neck and neck. But that's dope, man. So in regards to baseball, how long did you stick with the game of baseball?
I stuck with the game of baseball till I was about 22, and then an injury happened, tennis elbow, and then some other injuries happened, and I no longer can actually throw from third to first. So I had to walk away from the game. That was the biggest thing I've ever done, was walk away from the game of baseball. And then actually I didn't go watch a baseball game probably until about 6 years ago. So we're looking, about 18 years, never going to a game because I was just that upset.
Yeah, I can imagine that, especially with something that are very passionate about, and you feel like it got ripped away from you. It's like, why do I want to even go and see it in person or see it in TV? Since it's gonna bring back memory that you may, not want to have. I see your cousin says that you was a beast in football too, huh? Uh-oh. Tell us about
it. Man, well, I was all right, okay? I was all right. I liked football, but football wasn't my passion. It was when I was growing up, it was all about baseball, but just being a competitor and just having those competitive coaches and players around me, it just brought out the best in me, being honest. But my passion was always baseball.
So as you were getting into basketball, who were some players in the NBA or maybe just around the block or whatever that were some of your inspirations or people that you wanted, like you was like, man, when I see him, I want to be like him, or I'm gonna take some of his game, and inquire with my game?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. It wasn't any NBA guys. Like it was the people. It was the people I grew up with playing at Fairground Park.
Hey,
if we want to be honest, it was the playground guys, the older players. They were breaking down the game, and you just learn how to pick from their game and add it to your game, and then we're running all day long. That's what it was. But when it came, go ahead.
I was about to ask you about Fairground Park. So was this the Fairground Park that had the multiple courts, or just that one court by the playground?
The one court on Wnba, right next to the playground.
Okay. I had to ask because it's a difference, y'all. It's a difference.
It is. But I will tell you one thing. One person that I did study, and again, it wasn't an NBA player. It was Charles Newberry from SLU.
Okay. And what was it about his game?
His smoothness, his poise, running the point, just always smooth and never bothered. Like that was one of my favorite college players. I used to study him all the time. Charles Newberry.
Nice. And we had a few weeks back, we had Aaron Claggett on, and that was a great interview as well. So it's amazing how much you can learn when you like you said, it doesn't even have to be NBA player. Just you learn from the streets.
Yep.
Learn from playing and like remember them days of like what was that, Highway 40, the court.
Oh yeah.
Being out there. So shout out to all them cats that was out there off of Highway 40 doing their thing, hooping, and learn things, you learn toughness. So then when you start playing in, high school leagues and high school, whatever you learn out there at Fairground and Highway 40, you can bring that in. And it's like you had no fear. You know how to dominate the game. You know how to do your thing with confidence. So
exactly,
you learn a whole lot, if I'm being out there. And it's something that we talked about when I had a guest on 2 weeks ago, James Kinney, how as a kid, just being able to go out to a park and play ball. Back in the day, it was a no-brainer. But nowadays, you worried about your own safety, especially as a parent, because you're not sure if your kid will come back home after they go out hooping. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty sad what's going on right now in this world. Don't you agree?
Oh, I definitely agree. Like times have definitely changed in a major way, especially where I grew up in North St. Louis. Like it's definitely not the same. Like I wouldn't dare try to play court like I used to as a kid at Farragut Elementary,
right.
Because we don't know what's going to happen, because Farragut Elementary is where I learned how to swing the stick, which carried over to baseball. Fairground is what taught me how to play basketball, which carried over to the court. So right now, a lot of children are missing that. I tell my son all the time, like, you'll never get to experience life like I did.
Man, I mean, it was just so fun, man. Your cousin said we were able to play in the park and the schoolyard all day, every day. I'm telling you, man, it was
all day, every day.
Some of the best times, man. Even sometimes you may get lucky and see some girls walking by and, step the game up even more. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? You have a little cheerleading squad going on, but it was just natural, pure fun just to go out there and compete and know that you can just walk down the street and walk back home. Nowadays, you can't even say that,
No, you can't.
Hopefully, it gets to a point in life that things can get back to more safety no matter where you go, because it takes away from a childhood or, learning a game of basketball or baseball or football or hockey, whatever sport that you love, and you don't have to go to pay. You don't have to pay $500 to be in a league where you can go right over here and play with other people that you can learn and you can make them back home as well. So hopefully we'll get to that point. As you were playing basketball, man, tell us about the influence of your parents and family as well.
Well, my biggest cheerleader was my grandmother. Uh, the biggest cheerleader. Never missed a game, even when I was coaching professionally. Like she just never missed a game. My mother never missed a game. Like it never happened. So like the influence. I mean, my father was he made a couple of games himself, just in my time of playing sports. Uh, Favorite cousin Demetrius, like I had a big family support. Like it may have been small numbers, but their support was tremendous, and they just supported any and everything I did. But the one thing about it, and they never let me quit. You know what I'm saying? There was no give up like it is today. If that makes sense.
Oh no, that made perfect sense because it's too many kids nowadays that spoiled and they feel like if things don't go their way, well, it's not meant for me to be here anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and find a different direction.
Yep.
It's like where's the stick it out, tough it out, figure out what you need to do to better yourself with who you're with right now.
Yep.
Yourself and choosing a different route. So I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Who would you say, speaking of family, who would you say is that one person? You know how you all got that one person that be in the crowd, like, yeah, that's my boy, that's my cousin, that's my brother. Who was that one person that you would say you could hear him while you on the court? You could hear him in the stand saying, yeah, go ahead, show him how to do it.
So right now, if I was to go play in the league right now, the baby brother Josh, that's just how he is. Like when he comes in, it doesn't. We can, me and you, we can throw a party, and he's gonna be like, "That's my brother. I'm coming in. You can't tell me no. I'm ride or die. That's my baby brother Josh." But so my brother Willie, he came to the game last year in Cardinal, and he was the same way. So hey.
So wait. You mean tell me that Willie Moore Jr. didn't decide to go ahead and do like a last minute halftime concert? Why?
No. He was in there looking real St. Louis. Well, no, he wasn't looking real St. Louis, but the game was so intense nobody really even paid attention. But he was live. And then he get on the live, my other brothers get on the live, my sisters, they'll get on the live stream and watch the game, and they'll be like, man, I almost kicked my TV. Like it's intense.
Hey man, you gotta love family, man. Definitely gotta love it. So let's get right into a subject that you did not want to discuss, but tell us about what high school did you go to?
I went to Webster Groves.
Webster Groves. Okay. So were you there around the time Johnny Parker was there?
I came out right before I came out in 95. So he was there, but then I left. I graduated him going into his junior year? Yeah, junior year.
Okay, yeah, because we had him on the show last year as well. Great guest. We actually, are pretty cool now. But yeah, Western Groves, man. So just tell us about your experience and why you felt like we shouldn't discuss Western Groves. What happened during them years at Western Groves?
Well, I'll be real transparent. Like the one thing, and it makes sense. Well, you know what? The one thing about being at Western Groves at that time, I wasn't used to losing because in football we went to the Super Bowl every year. We won a lot with Frank Robinson. In baseball, we always got deep into the playoffs. So it was a real mental adjustment and a reality check because you're on this platform playing at Matthews Dickey, playing baseball at high levels, and then when you get to high school, like you gotta learn how to lose. You gotta shift. Like it was just a big shift. And from the baseball standpoint, well, I got moved to the outfield, and I just leave it at
that. Pride was hurt. Like, wait a minute, you can put don't you know who I am? I'm a freaking infielder. I'll be out here, damn outfield. Do you feel that from the time being at Webster Groves, at Matthew Dickey to going to Webster Groves, was it any kind of culture change or culture shock that happened for you?
As a student, no, but dealing with coaches, dealing with all black coaches, and then there's a mix. Once you hit high school, that was a big change for me.
Got you. And during your time there, what was the highest level of success that you on the basketball team that you have reached?
Oh, I stopped playing.
Okay.
Mom was like, you're not playing 3 sports. Pick 2.
Okay, so then you end up playing baseball and was it
Football?
football?
Yeah.
Okay. So how would you just rate your overall time at Western Groves?
Out of one.
Yep.
It was a learning experience.
It was a learning experience. That says a whole lot right there. But see, it's good that you're saying this because some kids need to see this type of interview because not everything's gonna be just roses. So you're not gonna have the be all metro, all state, whatever, or have this 15 million people reaching out to you to go to the college. Like we had previous guests on that, their recruitment was crazy, bananas. Some stores are different, but it's good for those to see that. Hopefully your some of your team is watching right now. Others who watching, they can see that. Hey, it's all about sometimes going through that struggle. You know what I'm saying? People see the success on paper or on TV, but what about in between? What's going on between that time frame that got you to a better point? We got a comment here from Going Bracket Racing. This person that says Tony.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Showing love. I love it. Keep them comments coming. Keep on sharing, everybody. Let's get them questions out there. Let's get them stories told. Let's have some fun with our special guest, Tony Condra, on the platform, Sports Talk Show. So, after high school, what college did you attend?
Yeah. So after high school, I got a story. I'm gonna be very transparent. Am I echoing?
Oh no, you perfect.
Okay. After high school, I ended up going to Sportsburg Community College. But then, being young, I just started partying. That is what it is, being young. And then, working, this, that, and the other. But I was coaching basketball at the same time. So I was still coaching basketball. And then I had to fix life a little bit. So I ended up graduating from Wnba University with my degree in criminal justice.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I was playing around. I'm not gonna lie, I'll be very transparent. I was playing around as a young 20-year-old. That's just what it is.
And I'm pretty sure what you're telling me now is something that you tell your team now. In regards to taking everything serious. Don't play around when you get to a certain level in your life because people are watching. Is that right?
Exactly. And people are always watching, and they're gonna always watch some. And I always tell the girls right now, never give anybody anything to speak about. Like we can't do that. We can't give anybody anything to speak about. If they're not saying anything, that means you're doing everything right.
Cool. So it looks like there was a slight echo earlier, but everyone's saying that it's good now. So as long as we good, thanks everybody for commenting. We appreciate it. Want to make sure that we present you a great production on the platform Sports Talk Show. So yeah, so once again, it's just good to see the transparency in regards, just going to adversity. Not everything's going to be get recruited junior, senior year in high school, and then everything just paid for and everything college. Not everyone had that story, so it's good to see other stories. Cousin says that came from your grandmother, Merck.
Yeah, my grandma. that's pride and joy right there, boy. Woo.
Yeah, gotta love them grandmas, man. They different. They special, man. Love them to death. So, after college, what led to you getting into coaching?
Well, like I said, back in '98, Gary Glasgow never let me leave the game of basketball. Like I said, he hired me over at Metro Classical. as a coach, and I was there with him for almost 10 years. I left in 2010. But even in that game, it stuck with me. On the women's side, I just love the women's side of basketball because they're a little bit, hey mama. No, there's just the discipline and the go get it. I mean, I've coached on the boys' side also. Like in the past, I've coached Tyler Griffey, Brandon Lockhart, uh, Nigel Cooper, or Deshaun Cooper. There's a lot of guys before they went and played with the Eagles in high school. So a lot of people even know that Brian Allen. A lot of people don't even know that I actually coached on the boys' side for about 2 years.
Mm, got you. And then, as you said before, winning state, going to state 5 years, and then winning
Yeah.
two. So tell us about that feeling that you had from your point of view, winning state as a coach for the first time.
Winning state is for the first time against Clopton. Like I'm not gonna lie, I cried like a baby. I'm not even gonna pump fake. I cried like a baby, and then I looked at Gary Glasgow, and he's crying. I think it was more emotional for me because my mentor trusted me to put the game plan together, and it worked. So that was a very emotional moment for me. My mother was there in the stands in Columbia, so I mean, it was major. But no, I cried like a baby. I got talked about, but I don't care. I still got my
Right.
medal.
Like, hey, talk about me, but I'm a champion, so it ain't gonna change.
No,
It
it's
ain't
not.
gonna change at all. And once again, everyone, keep them comments coming. This is the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smooth, along with special guest.
Tony
Tell him your name. There
Tony
you go.
Condra.
He came with the pop. Let's go.
Yeah, people that
You
know
can
me,
start.
they know energy never fades. Faith over worry. Let's go.
There we go. Yeah, I've been peeping your hashtags. I love it. Keep them comments coming, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all love. This is gonna be this broadcast all around the world. So y'all famous tonight, y'all. Keep them comments going, keep them shares going, keep them likes going. No matter if you're on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, everything will be shown right here. Let's make you famous tonight on the Platform Sports Talk Show. All right. So after going to Metro, I see here that you took an opportunity as a head coach. Is that correct for the St. Louis Surge?
So in 2013, Kalia called me up and I helped out with the tryouts, and then I came on as an assistant in 2013. And then in 2014, she hired me as the head coach for the St. Louis Surge professional women's team. So I will say thanks to Kalia because she put a lot of trust in me in helping build that program and putting it on a level that is on right now. That's her baby, and she trusted me with her baby. And we brought back that national title, myself and Angie Lewis in 2014.
Nice. Now, we had a previous guest on our show as well. You may know her. She is on Fox 2 and Channel 11, Michaela McGee.
Mm-hmm.
Was she a star player for you during that time you was coaching?
Well, you know what? I was actually recruiting Michaela. She didn't play for me, but I was recruiting her when she was at UNC Greensboro.
Okay.
I was trying to recruit her then to come in with the Surge. So she came in after I left.
Got you. So, and I know that they're still playing, not like right now, but
Right.
I know that there's still a league going on. Tell us about the time where you first started in regards to the hype, or in regards to the love that the Surge was showing to how it is now. Do you think it's better? Has it faded away a little bit? What needs to happen to maintain that good publicity for St. Louis Surge?
I don't think. Excuse me. Everything with the Surge is on such a high level right now. I think COVID hurt. COVID actually hurt. That COVID year actually hurt.
Yeah.
But I know the Surge will get back and get it popping again. I know they will. And then they just hired two amazing new coaches with Peacher. And I love Peacher. That's like my big sister. And then they hired Justin Tatum. So no, they brought in two new coaches that's gonna get the job done. And I want them to bring back their ring. Like we got two already. We need to get three. We need to get four. We need to get five. And I need the city to come out and support, because the one thing that the city doesn't do and they need to do more is support women's basketball. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real transparent. Like I had a lot of tough conversations with people that just didn't respect the game of women's basketball. But then when you have somebody like Rebecca Harris and Jaleesa Butler going to the gym and whooping everybody and all the guys on the court, you got to respect them. So no, the city needs to come out and support these women, because I don't think they really, a lot of these people don't understand like what they go through on a daily basis. And then they're playing with more passion, because it's not like they're getting paid like the guys would. And I'm not talking NBA, but they're not making the money like that. So they're stepping away from their everyday lives. Some stepping away from their kids. Some coming from practice and games straight from work. Like they're putting a lot more dedication into this game. So it's time to respect the game of women's basketball. And I mean every bit of what I'm saying. So now I'm rocking with the Surge forever, because I helped build it. Kalia trusted me with her baby, and I'm gonna continue rocking with it. But in 2022, we need to bring that title back to St. Louis.
Point blank, period. And shout out to Kalia as well, because I know she's one of the big major heads for the St. Louis SC MLS soccer team as well.
Yep.
She's making an impact, and I love what they're doing. It reminds me of what St. Louis was doing, and the what you call them, the I can't recall the name right now, but the staff for the XFL, the Battlehawks, and how they were making an imprint in regards to going to different high schools and going to different places and letting them know that, hey, we are part of the community. We are here. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna be like the Rams and how Kroenke was, and you know what I'm saying, not support this and not be there, you know, the whole nine. Cooper got hired on for a big major role for St. Louis City SC. So shouts out to what she's been doing for the St. Louis Surge, for the ladies, and also for diversity in the Lou. Because once MLS is up and running, when I tell you, and people may not realize this right now, but when I tell you, it's going to bring so much international love to St. Louis. Soccer is an international sport.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be bigger than football itself, in regards to NFL and basketball, because it's more internationally known. So when we get that together, she's already doing it now. And if you haven't seen photos of the stadium, how it's getting built now, how they're using panels from like Summit to the Arch, they're doing so much for that area. Once everything is built, and what she's doing right now to contribute, just watch out, y'all. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. But for what she's doing, shouts out to her and to yourself for what y'all did, winning championships during your time there. Speaking of which, how would you compare winning a title for the Surge compared to winning at Metro Classical?
Oh, that's a good question. But no, you know what? It's pretty, like on a professional level, winning the state high school championship was great. But winning that professional women's title was a little bit different. It was a beautiful thing, but then just having with the first national title team, we had 5 Division II players from Quincy University on their roster, and they all could have won Division I. So to see these women actually say like, it feels good to win a ring, like it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more that they can take with them and show their children at the same time. So a high school state title was great, but their professional title was amazing, because like some of those women that were on that team, they have children now, so they talk to their children about it. Not saying you won't talk about it with your high school state title, but those emotions were a little bit different, because I mean they dug in deep. And again, that sacrifice is just a little bit more, because you're taking time off of work. You know, somebody's leaving their husband, their boyfriend, their kids. Like, that sacrifice is just a little bit different from high school. So it means that much more when you win that national title on a professional level.
So I know you told us when you won that state championship at Metro that you were crying and you were in tears. Did you have them same tears for the Surge too?
I'll be transparent. So check this out. There you go, on the blast. So, killing me. We were in New Orleans. I'm be real transparent. We were in New Orleans, and once that clock started ticking down, Khalil was over my left shoulder in the corner. I seen her crying. I looked at Angie Lewis. Angie Lewis gave me this right here, like calm it down. And then, once the game was over, oh yeah, I shedded some tears. But the after party was when all the tears shed. And I still have all those videos and pictures because it was a magical moment. Because this woman here, Khalid, like, she quit her job, like, to build this up. And just to win that championship, knowing what she sacrificed also as an owner to get where she is
Right.
now, like, you can't deny that. So to help bring what she wanted and what she hired me to do, man, you can't deny that. So yeah, I shedded me some tears that night also. Not gonna lie, but it was well worth it because again, we're talking about the sacrifice that happens. And she sacrificed a lot. The players sacrificed a lot. Like when we were at the national tournament, those women took off of work, to make this happen. So yeah, it's definitely well worth it.
I bet it sounds like it, man. I would love to just sing you just be in tears, man. I personally, that was a funny sight to see. But like you said, you just appreciate those kind of moments, man, because it doesn't happen for everybody. So you gotta just take it in when you can. I'm seeing this comment here from your cousin about women's basketball for the community. Have there been any ladies that has came to you skeptical of playing sports because they may have heard of this or they may feel like, feel a certain way? How are you able to maybe, I don't want to say persuade them, but give them the confidence to be able to take part in sports?
Ooh. Well, you know what? I haven't ran into that one a lot, but I've ran into confidence issues with players. And it's basically just tapping into their mental. The biggest thing is letting them know it's okay to make a mistake. That's it. Most of the time they figure out it's okay to make a mistake, I mean, they relax. Then they get the job done, and then we fix the mistake. How do we correct this mistake? I've been an educator for a long time, and it's all about how we speak to the players. And then everybody has different learning styles. So how do we teach this player? But everything is mental. So like right now, even at Cardinal Ritter, when we go into our huddle and we break, it's I believe in me, I believe in we. So it's whatever we speak. So it's see it, believe it, achieve it. So I'm just tapping into the mind, tapping into the mental. That's it.
Nice, nice, nice. So tell us about being the lead trainer for IE Pro Women WNBA Combine.
Oh yeah, that's my guy John McGraw. We got together in 2014, Tampa Bay, and that's when I got hired as the surge head coach. We went from it was a small gym in Tampa, and it's just grown. So I work with a lot of doing the WNBA. I mean, doing the women's Final Four at the WNBA Combines with John McGraw. Being the lead trainer, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of WNBA players, a lot of high level professional women over that play overseas. So I mean, it's a great experience, and that energy is like through the roof. But the one thing, basketball is basketball. The only difference is people get bigger, stronger, and faster. But when it comes down to that skill piece and that development and breaking down the game, women are so detailed, and that's the part I love about it because it forces me to be detailed, and I just love it. But just having that experience and people, I mean, they love it. I still have contact with a lot of the women, and even when we leave the combine, I will send an email out checking in on everybody, and then some will reach out like, "Hey, I'm still trying to go overseas. Can you send me some workouts?" Like we may stream a workout. Like my last stream was during COVID with Meg Simmons, Tennessee Volunteer top player. So she played in the WNBA. She's overseas right now. So we did some major workouts online. So it's a blessing. Like it's a major blessing to be around those professional women like that play on that high level.
Let's go to this comment here. It says you didn't know it, but your little cousin Dorothy who wanted to play basketball, that she found out how good of a coach you were, but it would took her away from her dancing, where she got her degree.
Yeah, my cousin Dorothy's a dancer, and ain't nothing wrong with it. We all got to find our niche, and sometimes the path that we think is right for us is not the path. I'm gonna take you to church. Sometimes the path that we think is right for us isn't the path that the Lord has paid for us. I never thought I'd be coaching basketball. I just knew baseball was my way.
And I'm glad that you said that, excuse me, because like even doing my prayers, I'm always saying it's not about how I want it to be done, but in your way. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's be careful how you pray. Bottom line.
Yep.
I'll be truthfully, bottom line is you have to be mindful of how you pray. It's like, for instance, a woman could say, God bless me with a man. And then you get a man that ain't nothing because you wasn't more specific in regards to what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to be more specific. You can't just be all broad with it. You got to be specific in regards to what you want. If you want that blessing, what you want, what you gonna do to get to that goal the whole night. There we go. I brought something right there to you. Preach, baby. Two bald-headed brothers preaching right now on the platform Sports Talk Show. Let's go, people. Let's go. We in here, people, on the platform Sports Talk Show. Then right here we have bigger, stronger, much faster in regards to training, in regards to the ladies in the Wnba. And Miss White says, amen. Hey, let the church say amen right now. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Once again, keep them shares going right now. This is a great time, great show. We definitely appreciate y'all tuning in. Keep the comments coming right now. We're just showing love, man. Giving the love to giving his flowers to this man right now that he definitely deserves. Let's appreciate it. Oh, you're welcome. Let's stick with WNBA real quick.
Okay.
Do you feel that for a minute there's been a lull in regards to the support for the WNBA, but now over these last couple of years, like I'm seeing women like T. Cooper showing out, Asia Wilson showing out. I know right now in college, Paige Bucher, I know it's pretty soon as she gets, done with college, she'll be a star. But you're just seeing some up and coming stars from college getting to the NBA now. Do you feel the WNBA is getting to a better place now than it has been a few years back?
It's definitely getting to a better place now, and I mean, the women are speaking. That's it. They're taking control of their own destinies. Like they're speaking out against any and everything that they feel isn't going their way or unjust. I'll just say that because everything could go their way, but they're using their voice. They're using their platform to their advantage. So right now, just speaking however they feel, and it's like take it or leave it. I mean, that's what had to be done. Like I'm just being real honest. That's what had to be done for the growth of the women's game. You have to speak it. You have to speak your beliefs. You have to go against some people that you feel are in your corner to get what it is you want. Now, granted, the financial piece is still a work in progress, but no, I mean, right now, from when it started and got to the middle and to where it is now, no, those voices are carrying a lot of weight. And I love it. I'm not even gonna lie. I love every bit of it because these women are actually speaking out and they don't care whose feelings get hurt.
Yeah, I love it too, man. It's great for the game that these ladies are able to, speak out more and look for things to be done in a better way. Will things be equal like men? Unfortunately, it would not be. That's just the reality. No matter how hard they try to fight it, but at the end of the day, what can they do to what they're doing? Should I say? Is very big for the game because now they're putting more awareness to issues. Like, for instance, I think it was this past playoff that a WNBA team had a travel charter, a commercial, then flying a private, plane. So you got random Joe and Bill and whoever else on American Airlines, and then look up and they see Candace Parker and someone else on their airplane. Come on, that's not right.
No, it's
that's
not
crazy.
Right. But you know what? It's definitely not right. But just got to keep pushing. And when I say keep pushing, keep demanding more. That's what I mean by keep pushing. They just got to keep demanding more and demanding more and demanding more. Like it's always gonna be an uphill battle. That's just the way it is. It's gonna always be an uphill battle, and they just got to keep on fighting.
And I mean, I heard a story that a team had to take like maybe let's say they had 20 people or 30 people party, the whole team along with staff, whatever. Half the team was on one flight, half the team was on a whole different flight. Like that should not be the case at all. That's come on with it. Let's do better. Just like for instance, the past few years, well, I know last year during the NCAA tournament for the women, the men had this whole workout room, and it was just everything, all the weights, everything you wanted. But the ladies had this big old conference room with just one little stand of weights. It's like, really? So I'm glad that these ladies are speaking out, using their platforms to bring more awareness, because I always said this, especially in regards to just the game of basketball for the ladies. Of course, the men, they're going to dunk. They're going to do all the high flying stuff like that. There is a appreciation, and Coach, please feel free to further elaborate after I say this. But I feel like there needs to be a greater appreciation for women's basketball in regards to just how skillful they have to be just to make a bucket compared to being a man.
Oh yeah. So like the appreciation needs to come because again, like I spoke on with the professional women, and now we're talking about WNBA. These women are still sacrificing a lot. Like let's just be real transparent. Like they're still sacrificing a lot. You had Skylar Diggins playing while she was pregnant. They're sacrificing a lot. Like it's unheard of. But that appreciation needs to come. How do we get there? I'll go in detail. These owners need to step up, and I can honestly say that just from conversations from Final Fours. These owners need to step up and say something outside of the players. Like these owners need to step up. They just can't sit in their office and look cool. Now they got to get out there and grind also. They got to put some up on this billboard. They got to go out here and get this money. I'm sure there's a millionaire somewhere right now that's willing to cut a check right now to make sure somebody's good to go. Like that's just what it is. Because I feel like if people are investing money in amateur sports on the women's side, why can't you invest some money in professional women's sports like the WNBA? Because people are investing a lot of money in the amateur sports. Like, I mean, let's just be honest. Like, they're flying first class. They got charter buses. Everybody's 2 people to a room. So the money is there. It's just about going to get the money and getting up off your butt to go get it. So now these owners got to do a better job also of coming together and networking and finding their money because somebody's going to write that check. They just got to go get it. I mean, that's just being, if they had a Kalia Collier, a couple of other programs will have what they need and they wouldn't be flying commercial because when Kalia always heard no, she said, no, it's still a maybe. I just got to figure out a way to go back and get it.
Love it. Love it. So let's talk about now. Okay. What led you to go into Cardinal Ritter?
I'll be honest with you. I got the phone call. It wasn't the basketball that sold me. It was the academics. And they had to show me all the academics at Cardinal Ritter. The graduation rate, how many kids went to college, how many graduated from college. It wasn't even about basketball. It was about being academically sound and graduating from college and then taking what you learned at Cardinal Ritter and carrying that over to life. So it was the academic piece that sold me at Cardinal Ritter because myself and my other coach that came in, Will Holloway, we knew we can get the players. But what is this academic piece? Because the ball's going to stop bouncing one day and then these players are going to have to fall back on their academics. So that's what sold me and got me to Cardinal Ritter outside Terrell Ramey.
and I apologize. He actually was a guest on our show too a few months back. So there we go, another Cardinal Ritter person on our show. Like I said, this is the Cardinal Ritter platform sports talk show for real.
Hey, Ritter strong, baby.
Yeah, man, I love it. So how long have you been a head coach at Cardinal Ritter now?
This is year number 4.
Okay. And so how would you say things have been over your last 4 years?
Over the past 4 years, it's definitely been a learning experience going from coaching professional women and then coming back down to high school because one, the language is different, and then you get used to because professional women they come in with the work habits. You may have to get on them a little bit, but they know how to go get it, and then they know how to communicate with each other. So coming back to high school is basically breaking it all the way down over again. How do I speak to my teammate? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. How do we communicate better? How do we get along? Like it's more teaching about life than it is basketball. Granted, we do a lot of skill work, but over the past 4 years, it's been more teaching about sisterhood and than anything and coming together before basketball because a team that can't get along can't play well on the court. So that's been the biggest piece that we've been picking at a whole lot. Just working on that communication and teaching our young ladies how to come together as one and just lean on each other when they have hard times.
Can you also discuss, because I had this conversation with other coaches, especially in regards to coaching men, but in regards to coaching young ladies in this time of social media and peer pressure, how is it for you being able to be a coach, be a father figure to these young ladies during these times now?
It's you know what? It's not stressful at all. It doesn't even give me a headache. That's funny. But no, just being able to communicate and relate to them. We have to be able to switch it from coach to father figure, and then we have Coach Tanisha, who's like a mother figure. But I mean, I'll be honest with you, we as coaches, we do a great job with our players, but now the players are learning how to do a great job with each other. So like we have our senior who's like the girl's mother. So a lot of the players talk to her, being real transparent. Some of the players will talk to her. So they're learning how to communicate with each other. But no, like as a coach, as a collective whole, as a coaching staff, no, I mean it's a wonderful thing. But we know how to get to the players without getting them upset, but also getting them to understand. So like my favorite line is, "I'm not fussing, but I'm fussing," and that
Right.
brings them down. It's just knowing how to communicate with the players and having them understand, because without understanding, we have nothing. But I'm gonna go back to something you said about appreciation. So the one thing we say in practice is, and I say it in life, lack of appreciation comes from lack of communication. So now we're teaching them, hey, dap each other up, tell them it's okay. Everything is all right. So now even in practice, as coaches, like, hey, I'm proud of you. Keep working, keep busting your butt, because now they feel appreciated. So a lot of that is some of the stuff they don't get on a daily basis. Because I mean, I'll be transparent, and as a race, we don't show each other enough appreciation. So we're teaching them.
Man. Woo. Preach. We don't show enough appreciation and love amongst each other, and that definitely needs to change. And hopefully, people like yourself continue to make that be a standard. You know what I'm saying? In regards to be natural to show each other love, as your cousin said. Say that louder. I love it. Once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smoooth, along with
Tony Condra, Mr. Energy Never Fades.
There it is. This has been another great interview. We have a lot more questions to go before we leave.
Okay.
But Coach, thank you for taking this time out, man. Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Once again, like our page on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, even on your Roku device, playing the Platform Sports Talk Show. You'll see us there. Every show that we have, it will be uploaded right after it's over, right on the Roku within an hour. So keep on getting them lights going. Let's get the Platform Sports Talk Show trending. Another incredible interview. So going back to your team, how will you describe so far the early season as of right now?
The early season as of right now, they're still learning. We're all still learning, smoothing out some of the kinks that we have. But just going out there and being battle tested right out the back was what we needed. Because like I said, the first game we played Hazel Green, they won the past 4 state titles. We struggled the first half, a little bit frustrated, but then the second half we played even. And then we have our little meeting after the game, and then the next day we come back and we win the next game, and then we head to Dallas. We played St. Louis out of Louisiana. They won state last year. We gave them that game, but again, we learned from the mistakes. And then we turn around and we play Madison, who won state out of Louisiana. And then we beat them by 30 because we just learned from our mistakes. So right now in the early season, we're learning from our mistakes, but we're here to make that state run. So we're battle tested early. We're just preparing our players.
And what's your record right now?
Right now we are 3-2.
Okay.
Yeah, we had the one loss in Huntsville and the one loss in Dallas. We went 1-1 in Huntsville, 1-1 in Dallas, and then we just won last night.
Nice. Once again, congrats on that. That moment, if you can tell us, what has been that moment in your coaching career where you finally felt like you made it? You made that impact that you always wanted to have when you first had thoughts of being a head coach.
The moment is Brandy Kelly. She graduated valedictorian from Beaumont High School. Not gonna get into the details, but she's like my other child. She got a full ride scholarship to Cleveland State University, and then she came down with a rare form of cancer. So knowing that, she went in college. Cleveland State actually kept her scholarship, and then they actually paid for her chemo and her surgery and everything. So like those type of impacts, because if Brandy didn't play basketball, we don't know where Brandy would have been. And we stay in touch to this day. Like I stay in touch with all of my players to this day. Like, so those are the impacts that they'll never leave because, we built that relationship. Like one of the former players came in the gym today to Cardinal Ritter. So just building those relationships and keeping those relationships and just letting them know like, hey, if you got a problem, you can still call me. Like, this is more than just basketball. I may have been your coach, but this is more than basketball. And they understand that and they believe that because I still get text messages and phone calls, even when during basketball season when it's rough. So they always know they can always come back and call and get that advice.
Yeah, it has to be an incredible feeling where you're able to make a lasting impact in other people's lives.
Definitely.
Yeah, it definitely has to feel good. I know you said before that you spent some time coaching some young men during your early years. How would you describe coaching men versus coaching ladies?
When I coached the young men, I got tired of having to play them one-on-one. You know how boys get competitive. They're like,
right.
Coach, you can't hoop. Coach, you can't. Oh man, I ain't got to deal with that anymore. On the women, they just be like, Coach, you can't shoot, and I just say, okay, well let's just have a shootout. But with the guys, they want to play one-on-one and this, that, and the other. Oh man, I ain't got time to prove myself to you. But no, people might not like my comment, but women work a little bit harder than men.
I've heard that before. I have heard that before. And I think it goes back to what I said before about the game of basketball for ladies and men. Is that, like I said, men can jump out the gym. It's easier for certain guys to score better. For ladies, it requires more of a skill. Yep. So I totally agree with what you were just saying. Ladies come in with a different mindset, and they know that you have to put in more to succeed.
And then they know there's a lot of odds stacked against them. So now they just work that much harder.
Let's see. All the women in the family is proof of that.
True facts.
Who would you say are some of your coaching influences? Some coaches that you may have followed on TV or, of course, professionally, or someone around the circuit?
Ooh. So my favorite NBA coach is actually Pop. Like San Antonio Pop. Like I just like I like his coaching style, just how he handles different situations. And I've always been a San Antonio fan. We going way back to the Admiral and all that stuff. On the college side, I'm connected with a lot of college coaches, but I have a small circle that I deal with as far as writers and stuff like that. So we help each other out and things of that nature. Because I just reached out to a coach about a better 4-out 1-in that may fit the girls in the program. So just those connections right there. It's just about building those relationships and knowing who you can trust and who's genuine about everything they give you, because somebody may give you something, but then they may want something back in return, and it shouldn't always be like that. So in the basketball world, it's all about who's genuine, who's real, and who's going to always keep it 100 with you, because the basketball world it's a crazy place. But now, just learning the game, I'll be honest with you, I started watching Louisiana Tech when I first started coaching women's basketball in the early '90s when they were running the ships, and then I followed over to Tennessee. And then just going to different camps and just learning the game and studying film and watching NBA games, and just a whole lot of studying going on. Because like I say all the time, even when I'm in training, the game evolves every year. Just because, don't look at my status, we're teaching each other. So as the game evolves, you're teaching me and I'm teaching you, because you have to learn every day.
Explain to us the moment that COVID became a big thing, became an issue, period. How did that affect your program? What steps were you taking to help the ladies out? Did they have any questions about it, any concerns? Did anyone quit because they were just too scared? Just dealing with the parents during that situation. Just tell us your overall experience dealing with COVID.
Dealing with COVID last season, now the players weren't scared, the parents weren't scared. We were masked. We were masked in practice, masked up in games, but practice was different because every station was 3 minutes and we were rotating. So we were moving the entire practice due to contact tracing. So we wanted to stay out of those time zones with contact tracing. So it was a major adjustment, but we were able to make it happen just due to making everything really structured, because we know we had to move and we had to keep girls in certain groups, because if somebody got COVID, their group would have to be out, or potentially the whole team. But the one thing I did do was I expressed to the parents that you're right now in this time, you're more important to this program than anybody else, because if a parent brought COVID home, that shuts the entire program down. So I held them to a higher standard, just like I would the players. So COVID was okay, but we fought through. We didn't have any positive cases.
Nice. It's good to hear. Hopefully it stays that way. As I don't know if you heard a conversation earlier, me and Joe, but you had like certain NHL team like the Blues, they 100% vaccinated, still got COVID. You got the Hornets in Charlotte, especially professional players, they got COVID after they had the vaccination. So it's crazy, but glad that still has been no, like you said, positive COVID cases going on, and hopefully things continue to flow for your team. What should people expect to see when they see a Tony Condra led basketball team?
A whole lot of energy, like a whole lot of energy from the top to the bottom. This season's going to be fun. We're going to play fast. We're going to be physical. We're just teaching them the game, and they're learning the game. And I'm going to have to say shout out to the coaching staff, because, the one thing about me, I know you said it's a Tony Condra-led team, but, I'm not bigger than the program, and I'm not bigger than my coaches. So it's a we-led program. I'm just a name, but we get it done collectively. But I'll just be straight to the point. It's going to be a show. Like, they're ready. We returned five players from last year. We played 5 freshmen last year on varsity.
Wow.
And we returned all 5. My point guard was first team All-State as a freshman, Chantrell Clayton. Hannah Wallace was conference defensive player of the year. So, we bring it back. Then we got transferring from Edwardsville. Ariana Bennett, she plays a major part. So we got a lot of pieces. But bringing back that core that were freshmen, and we lost the quarterfinal game to go to state last year, playing 5 freshmen. So, they're back. They're ready to roll, and they're ready to go. So, when you come to a Cardinal Ritter game, expect the show, but we're going to play hard, and we're going to get after it.
That's what's up. And when you are, let's say, tryouts are going on, what are some things that you are looking into when you are looking at scouting talent and, for your team to choose your 15 or however people you can have on your team?
Personality. Right off the bat, we're looking at personality. Or is somebody have that attitude? personality goes a long way because personality has to mesh in the collective whole group. You know,
Right.
so like just like a grocery store, if you got one bad apple, if there's a bad apple in the bag, they're throwing the whole bag away. So personality is always first because just because you can play this game and you might be good at it, you might not be a good fit because of your personality.
Right.
You know, so personality is right off the bat. So personality then it carries over to basketball.
And as I said before, bring you into the show in the intro, we've had Brandon Spain on the show, Terrell Ramey, Ryan Johnson on the show. So, and I'm a proud alumni of the V, Vashon High School. So please watch your comments accordingly, y'all. No, but anyway.
No, it's all good.
It's crazy because Cherie just brought this up. I hope I had your names pronounced correctly. I just brought this up. Looks like Cardinal Ritter is slowly like becoming the mecca of high school sports. Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know.
No, you're right. We're working hard over at Cardinal Ritter, and it's actually a big family. And when I say big family, everybody supports everybody, and nobody's above anybody. And we get on each other's players, like it's no problem. Like it's like a big family affair right now at Cardinal Ritter. So that's the beauty of it, that everybody can hold each other's players accountable. During any season, any time of the day, it doesn't even matter. We hold each other's players accountable, each other's program accountable. And I will say this, our AD, Rob Wallace, he's doing a great job over there also. Mr. Wallace sits in the boys' practice, the girls' practice, the football practice, the soccer practice. He's making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. So shouts out to the AD, Rob Wallace over at Cardinal Ritter also, because he's putting in a lot of behind-the-scene works that a lot of ADs just won't do. They'll just go through the motion, do their job, and go home. But no, he's staying till the gym is closed until football is over. So that's the big part, because he set the standard for all the programs. And we all believe in the standards that's being set.
Nice. All right. So a question that I always like to ask high school coaches. Here we go. It actually ain't that bad. Okay. But we've seen other states doing it, and Missouri looks like they always, for some reason, no matter what it is, they're always behind. But do you feel that high school in Missouri should implement a shot clock?
Yep. I knew that was a question when you was going to it. Yeah, we actually do need a shot clock, because even a lot of college coaches say when they come to games in Missouri, they want to see if they can play at a fast pace. And then their decision making when the clock is going down, because now you got to work on your creative skills as a ball player. And then, I mean, the shot clock is a beautiful thing. Like you just can't sit there and play defense for a whole minute while a team goes through a whole minute of passing the ball, and then you get a layup and everybody's excited. No, I might be tired from playing defense for a minute. But no, Missouri, we do need to implement the shot clock. And that's just being 100% honest. And then it's going to force coaches to have to coach.
And also, of course, because you're preparing these young kids for college, for those who want to go to college. It's like, okay, it should be a no-brainer that you need to have a shot clock. Like, you know how ESPN be broadcasting all these high school games, all these big high school teams, and they got like a 45-second shot clock going on. Like, why isn't that not being implemented all the way around, no matter what school? Now, when I had this conversation a while back with one of our previous high school coaches, I believe I was told that it was just something that, in regards to the state of Missouri, that they were, holding back on it or whatever. Like, it's been talks about trying to implement it, but Misha just has not been able to do their part. But hopefully they are able to go ahead and make that happen, because, like you said, it's preparing them for the faster game, preparing them for the next level. So why stall? Make it happen. Let's go. And then plus, it's going to make the game that much more interesting, especially in the fourth quarter. Like, I can say for myself, when I played for the V, we up 10, 15 points in the fourth quarter. Let's say, of course, we're 8 minutes long. So 5 minutes into the quarter, we are already doing 4 corners, and we just stalling, passing the ball around the corner, just waiting, and not rushing it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'll help the competition out that much greater, having a shot clock. Let's see how you are between this time frame, and it makes the game better. So we shall see. We shall definitely see. Real quick, NBA talk. Do you follow the NBA at all?
I'll be honest with you, I don't follow the NBA until after the All-Star game because that's when they got to start hooping so they can make the playoffs.
Got you. Do you have like a certain team that you follow?
Man, you know what? I'll be honest. I'm a San Antonio guy, but I've been following a little bit of everybody. I actually like what Golden State's doing this year, even though it's not a surprise.
Man, dude, I was saying the same thing to my co-host. I feel like Golden State, especially when they get Klay Thompson back, James Wiseman back, they already the best team in the NBA. They just started right now against the Trailblazers, but Steph Curry's playing amazing.
Yeah.
I'm loving Jordan Poole's game.
Yeah,
he's impressed. Draymond's being Draymond. But like I said, when you get Klay Thompson back, and he's Klay Thompson, not like he just back and no. He when he's back to 100% and he is that dude, and then you add Wiseman.
Yeah,
my God, this team here, woo-wee, because like I said, man, they got a young collection of talent.
They do.
That's just getting better and better and better and better. Like, I can't even complain about Andrew Wiggins no more. I couldn't stand him back then.
This might be his best season.
Yes. I mean, I cannot stand him. I always felt like he was kind of like lazy and like he didn't have no energy to his game, or he just kind of like he just out there or whatever. But now playing with Draymond and Steph Curry and the whole organization, he's a whole different guy. I'm like, wait a minute.
But it's about who you surround yourself with. Like, that's a whole other atmosphere than what he's used to. That's a championship atmosphere. It's either get on or get off. So who you surround yourself with definitely makes a difference. But I feel the same way that you felt about him, like about Wiggins. I was like, how, why, who, stop. And now he's in all-star conversations.
So I talked about this with Joe. I'm not sure if you heard it or not. About my thoughts in regards to Anthony Davis. What are your thoughts on him right now?
He got to step it up a little bit more. But I haven't really been following the Lakers. I mean, I think they overdid it. Too much talent can be trouble. Who's gonna play a role? That's just my opinion. But I haven't really been following the Lakers. Like, I'll follow them once the playoff. Well, once All-Star is over, I'll start following, because that's when everybody has to just break down and start hooping. Like right now, it's playtime. But when after All-Star, everybody trying to get into that playoff run. So now they got to come bring it.
And that's why I love the new play-in game.
Oh yeah.
I love it, because now, like you said, after the All-Star break, ain't no coasting. If you like a 6 to 10 seed, nope, you have to play, because if you make that play-in game, then you got to win at least a game so you can advance. I love it. So I hope they keep this going.
They should.
And as I said before, this has been an incredible interview with you, Tony. I want to give you the opportunity now. The floor is yours for any special shout-outs.
No, I mean, I just like to shout out my entire family. It's a lot of them, But no, I like to shout out my entire family, my coaching staff, the entire family over at Cardinal Ritter College Prep. And I mean, we just working, But I will say this, and because I'm big on the mental piece, for anybody that decides to tap in or go back and watch the rebroadcast, I just challenge you tomorrow to just ask somebody how they're feeling, and then actually just give them some appreciation, give them some love, because we don't get enough and we don't give enough of it. So I'm big on that mental piece and just showing the people that appreciation that's needed, because we as people, we don't give it enough and we don't get it enough, and we never know what somebody's going through. But shout out to everybody that's out there. Ain't nothing but love, baby.
And like as the song says, just try a little tenderness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So this has been an incredible show. Tony, if you don't mind, just stay on. We'll do a little post-show talk after we end the broadcast. But for those watching, thank you very much. the platform Sports Talk Show. Shouts out to Joe once again for joining me during the first hour. Shouts out to Stan, to Bunny. She just had her little one a few weeks ago, so she's recuperating, getting better. She'll be back very soon. Shouts out to the Ladies Night crew holding things down every first Wednesday of the month. Annie, Sharita, Bunny, Joe. The list goes on. Purple Rain, if you're watching, shouts out to you. Also the Coach Stringer. I think you may know Coach Stringer, Tony.
Oh yeah.
Coach Dominique.
She called me Pops.
Yeah. So she's been a regular for our ladies night shows as well. So we definitely have a lot of good people, you know what I'm saying, on our show doing big things. You mentioned earlier, Coach, about supporting women in regards to professional sport like the Surge, etc. Shouts out once again to Annie. She's a 3-time champion of the St. Louis women's professional football team, the St. Louis Slam. Yeah. So if you not heard about that, people, check out the St. Louis Slam. They are incredible. These ladies, they don't play no games. They are about business. It's tackle football. Ain't no lingerie stuff. No, it's the real deal.
It's real.
So
it's real.
Support these ladies. Support St. Louis, man. Just support all the way around. Continue to support our show. Give us that follow on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, and now on Roku TV. Pretty soon we'll be expanding to even more apps and everything very soon. So continue to show us love. Let everybody know about this incredible show. Next week, we have a legend coming on to the show. Can't go any further. You just gotta check it out for yourself. Follow us everywhere. Be updated in regards to everything we do. Make sure on YouTube you subscribe. Click on that bell so anytime we go live, you will be notified. Another incredible show tonight. Another one coming up next week as we end out 2021. It is the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smooth. Once again, Bunny, Joe, Stan, shouts out to y'all. Much love. Give us that follow. When it's about sports, it becomes our business, and business continues to pick up. We out. Right. We out.